Denial, for me, functioned as a form of delusion, not a complete disconnection from reality, but a selective engagement with it. I did not fully lose sight of the truth. Rather, I positioned myself in a way that allowed me to avoid it. This avoidance was not passive, it required ongoing justification, reinterpretation, and the construction of narratives that made my behavior appear acceptable, or at least unavoidable. Within this framework, addiction was not only maintained through substance use, but through the refusal to acknowledge its impact. I did not admit the extent of my behavior, nor the harm it was causing either to myself or to others. Instead, I sustained a version of events that protected me from responsibility, even as the consequences became increasingly visible. This form of delusion had tangible effects. It contributed to instability, conflict, and the erosion of trust. Situations that required accountability were instead met with defensiveness or dismissal. In some cases, individuals who attempted to confront the reality of my behavior were marginalized or positioned as problematic, not because they were incorrect, but because their perspective disrupted the narrative I was maintaining. In this way, denial was not neutral. It actively enabled harm. It allowed patterns of behavior to continue without interruption, and in doing so, it affected not only my own well-being, but the rights and experiences of others. The longer the denial persisted, the more significant these consequences became. Recognizing this has been a necessary, if difficult, part of recovery. It requires acknowledging that my actions, particularly in the context of addiction, were not without impact. It also involves understanding that denial was not simply ignorance, but a mechanism that protected me from discomfort at the expense of honesty and accountability. Recovery, therefore, is not only about abstaining from substances. It is about relinquishing the narratives that allowed harm to continue, and developing the capacity to engage with reality more directly, even when it is uncomfortable. It involves taking responsibility for behavior without collapsing into self-condemnation, and recognizing that accountability is a necessary condition for change. To describe this process solely in terms of addiction is insufficient. It is also about the relationship to truth and the ways in which that truth was resisted, avoided, or reconfigured.